Mm. And let's find ourselves in a beautiful space wherever you'd like to picture yourself. Perhaps it's where you're sitting right now. And you're centering yourself in a position that's most comfortable for you, whether it's seated or maybe you're lying down. But you're just feeling the fullness of yourself, all the pieces that you've gathered over the years, the pieces that you're working on, the new surrender and the old surrender. You're just gathering all of those pieces back to yourself. We get so fragmented sometimes that we lose pieces of ourselves out into the world. And so you're just gathering yourself back. And as you feel the fullness of your presence, you start to witness and sense the presence of other women that are sitting or lying next to you in a circle. And you're aware of the fullness of their presence as well as your own. And you're aware that even across time and space, we have a deep connection, a deep human connection to one another. And the intentions that we have placed into this circle are really strengthening that bond and that cord of connection. And as we sit or lie in the circle, we feel the circle expanding with women gathering and joining us. And we're so open hearted, we're inviting them in and asking all women, women we know and women we don't know, to join our circle, to benefit from the gathering of women in Sangha, in community. And we feel the pulse of energy that goes around our circle from women of all different backgrounds and different cultures and different languages. That at the core and at the heart of it, we share the same desires and the same wishes for wholeness and love and compassion and beauty and grace and healing, wholeness. And just send your love around the circle. Open your heart so that the love just floods out into the circle, and that we might each feel this rush of love and tenderness that's gathered with us today. And reach out and grasp the hand of the woman on either side or on both sides of you. Just with the touch of your hand, reassuring her that we're here for one another and reminding her that this circle can be taken anywhere and accessed anytime.
And then slowly let go and come back to yourself. Bring your hands into prayer pose. And still feeling the connection. Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mitroma Amritangamaya Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Inhale deeply and suspend your breath. And then you want to exhale. Keeping our hands in prayer pose, slowly opening our eyes. From here, we move our arms up into a V shape. We lift our chin, chest. We look up to the sky or the ceiling and exhale, bringing our chin back to parallel. So consciously open up the space around our heart, inhaling and exhaling. All breath is through your nostrils right now. We want to open the heart space for Valentine's weekend. And maybe you are your own Valentine's this weekend, or you have somebody. Just stay focused on opening the 4 chambers of your heart. And allowing the love to overflow. There is no limit to love. See if you can stretch up a little bit more. Arch your midsection. Keeping the arms straight when you extend them out to 60 degrees. Last 3 times. Then we come back towards the heart. From here, we move our arms forward and coming back to the heart. Inhale, extend, arm palms facing outward. Exhale, come back. And really activating the heart chakra. Deep breath. Maybe pushing something out of your way that diminishes your capacity to fully express your love. You can close your eyes and just see as if you're swimming through an ocean of your emotion and see what needs to be cleared. The last 5 times. Last one. And then we come back to the heart. And from here, here's your inhale. Now you exhale and you look back to the right hand. Inhale to center. Exhale, now open mouth, look over to your left. Inhale. Exhale, really stretch your arms fully. Always remember your heart meridian goes all the way into your pinky. Yeah, so we want to open up while we're twisting. Keeping our base stable. Bringing out our liver of any disturbance or decongestion. Take your head with you into both directions. And then come back to center, interlace your fingers. Have them as if you hug the tree. Inhale, bring your arms up. Exhale, back forward. Inhale, nose. Exhale, open mouth. Have an emphasis on lifting your diaphragm, arching your mid-spine. The heart needs a lot of air to function well. A lot of space. That's why it's really healthy if you're in an argument with somebody, take them out on a walk and then continue your dialogue. You will see it will shift a lot in the way you're relating. Don't sit and argue. It's very unhealthy and often leads to more disturbances. But if you move your energy and your partner too, or whoever you have a dialogue or disagreement with, and if you walk together, see what happens. It's really helpful. The last 3. And then we place our left hand onto our heart center, right hand on top. And this will be our last movement. It will take a little. So you just open towards the left and you reach forward with your palm. And then you bring your right hand behind your head. You go over your crown chakra in front of your 6th chakra towards the 5th, back to the heart. And then you switch. Just lean forward and see what you want to let in and what you like to share. Maybe today, throughout the weekend. What are the things you want to generously, share with all those around you? And what are your needs? What are your wants? What would you like to get in? And just close your eyes and keep moving. Now, Nirmala can explain what love means.
Well, that would be a big, big task, wouldn't it? But let's see what we can do. Before I start on that task, I would like to just mention one more time about City's cleanse that's coming up the end of February, the 27th it begins to March the 5th. And many of you on this call have actually participated in cleanses with City before. But I just want to take you through just a really short version of it, because it is so transformational and it is so well suited to all of these topics that we have been exploring and working on, the surrender and the heart and all of the mindfulness and emptiness and all of these are just topics. But when you can root them in movement and in our attention to our body, they take on a whole nother meaning. And City beautifully weaves together movement yoga with how it is that we're taking care of ourselves. And so this cleanse that goes on for the week is rooted in an hour-and-a-half yoga practice that she offers in the morning from 9 to 10:30. And it can be as strenuous as you want it to be. City adapts it for each of us who have different situations going on in our bodies that will keep us from maybe doing such a strenuous practice. But if you're up to it and you're in shape for it, you will find that her yoga can really stretch you a lot. It's very demanding, but she'll also adapt it if you need it to be. So that's a beautiful way to start off each day. And she will take us through why we are making certain movements that affect our physiology and how they are changing and cleansing and working with our organs and with the wholeness of us to give us vital health, the health and vitality we're looking for. And this hour-and-a-half yoga practice will be recorded. So if your schedule doesn't permit you to participate from 9 to 10:30, you can watch anytime throughout the day. It'll be reserved to be watched, I think, until like 10 p.m. or something. And then the next days will be added. And then I just had an opportunity to see her handout on the cleanse that has all of the different foods and different health processes that she'll take us through. And it's exquisite. She has so many pieces of nutritional information and how we put together smoothies and juicing and the different foods that we would want to eat to be doing certain things to our body, why they're doing certain detoxing us in certain ways. And you'll just find that it's very comprehensive. So I will be participating. I'm looking at it as a reset for me after this year. I mean, literally will have been a year of being in this, new paradigm that we're in. I'm ready to kind of break out and to reset my whole system and to rethink my pantry, quite honestly. That's been, Laura, when you mentioned stress eating, it's hard to imagine eating any more junk than I've been eating. I mean, it's been so difficult for me specifically to really take responsibility for my eating. I don't know why, but it just has been. because maybe there's all this extra time in your day and you're lazing around. And I just wander through the kitchen so much more frequently. And now more than any time is it important for me to have a different outlook on that and to be putting things into my pantry that when I take them out, they're actually nourishing me, not just filling some, some craving I have for something else. I'm going to have to read what Laura has to say about that. I know she's studying it, so I want to know more about why I'm feeling stressed about and eating as a result. So anyway, I highly recommend Cities Cleanse if you have an inkling to want to sort of reset your system and be part of a community that's doing that together. So that's my first thing. And now I can't help but talk about love, given that tomorrow is Valentine's Day. I couldn't avoid it. It felt like it was just coming right at me. So I have a few things that I'd like to say about love. The first is I was curious, maybe many of you know, but I did not. I was curious how it is that we came to call this day Valentine's Day. And I read that the ancient Romans were quite possibly responsible for the name, in that Emperor Claudius II executed two men whose last names were Valentine on February 14th in the 3rd century AD. And they were martyred by the Christian or Catholic Church at that time. And they were martyred and then turned into saints. And that became the St. Valentine's Day. So it's actually part of a Roman, there's a lineage through the Roman timeline. And so as Christians celebrated this St. Valentine's Day for the saints, it then was taken on by our more secular world and started being celebrated as more of a commercial celebration of romance and love. And now it's, of course, celebrated around the world in many different countries. So I thought it was kind of interesting to know the roots of that. Many words embody the range and variety of different types of love. As I was just thinking about it, I was jotting down some words that come to my mind about love. Deep affection, fondness, tenderness, warmth, intimacy, attachment, endearment, devotion, adoration, worship, passion, ardor, desire, lust, yearning, infatuation, and besottedness, which is a word I saw that came up around love. I love that, besotted. I'm besotted with someone or something. The Bible says that God is love and that humans crave love from the moment they're born, that love is just part of our system to such a degree. And I think that's interesting because we talk in the spiritual world about why it is that we long for a connection to the divine and to the unfolding of why it is that we're here and what is our purpose and why is that sort of built in naturally into each of us. And if you look at love as being maybe the root of that being in relationship through love is something that is just, it's our craving. We want to have that in our life in many different ways. I was intrigued to find out that there are 1,000 different ways to say love in Italian. So I think when we get out of COVID, we should go to Italy because I'm curious about the 1,000 different ways to say love. And of course, we know in our vernacular, in the English language, when we use love for everything. I love pickles. I love the flowers. I love the sunset. I love this person. We use it very broadly. But in ancient ways and in other languages, it's very specific. You wouldn't use one word for love in other ways. You would only use it when it's in its appropriate manner. So in the Greek versions, they have 7 or 8 generally accepted versions of love. The first one is philia, and that means affectionate love. That's the love not romantic, that would occur between friends and family members. So we have philia love around our circle here. The second is pragma, excuse me, and that's enduring love. The third is storge, it's familiar love. And then eros, which is romantic love. And ludus, which is playful love. And mania, which is not included in all lists, but it's obsessive love, of course. So I guess some don't want to actually include that as part of the love, the love train. And philotia, which is self-love. And finally, agape, selfless love. The deepest expression of love is always selfless, always. It says selfless love is as involuntary as your breath. Is it a responding that comes out of us without giving any thought to what is needed in the moment, that we just naturally exude a response of love, that's our default. That's where we are at all times. That is the most profound way to be in love, where it isn't calculated or it isn't dependent upon somebody else or something else. It's just simply how we are. So today I'd like to talk about just 3 different types of love. The first is the love for the divine, the source of all creation. Whether you believe that the divine is separate from all of creation, panentheism, the word for that is panentheism, or if you believe that the divine and the universe carry the same essence, pantheism. If you believe that we come from the divine and therefore can't help but be a piece of the divine. We have to carry that. If we are from that and we are birthed from the divine, there are fragments and pieces and sparks of the divine that are always carried through us. I believe that all of us are here in this circle because we have an interest in and an investment in being in relationship with the divine. Otherwise, we wouldn't be called to be together, and that we are looking for the divine both in us and outside of us, and finding ways to make that connection and to deepen into that connection. That's a journey. That's a life journey. The journey for our relationship with the divine and how we find that connection. That's our life journey. The second type of love that I would like to speak about is the love of self. Underpinning love is forgiveness. And without forgiveness, excuse me, one loses the power of love. Without forgiveness, one loses the power of love. So what if our desire is to be able to be in the unconditional and spontaneous eruption of love, that our love is just flowing freely through us? It has to start with our own self-love, that we love ourselves. How would love pour out of us if we didn't believe we were a vessel worthy of carrying that love? And if we are a vessel worthy of carrying that love, should we not be tending it? Should we not be in relationship with that? Should we not be caring for and nurturing ourselves so that the vessel that we are is capable of carrying this unbounded love, the love that has no limits, the love that comes spontaneously through us, the love that doesn't care about the situation or the conditions or the individuals that are included, that it simply explodes through us. If that's the love that we wish to carry and hold for the world, which is so needed at this time, we have to start with our self-love. So we've talked about that before, but I wanted to look at the relationship of not only why it is that we need to take care of ourselves first, because then we feel whole and good and we should, and put your oxygen mask on first. All of that is true, but it has even a deeper consideration. It isn't possible for us to be this immense ocean of love that we already are. We already are that, unless we recognize that we have the worthiness and we have the capacity. And so many of us have life experiences that can give us the mindset that we have brokenness as part of us. And there's that beautiful song and poetry I know that's been written about the crack in the clay pot is where the light comes through. So of course we carry brokenness. It's inherent in the human condition. It's not possible for us to have gotten to the age that we all are and not have encountered brokenness. It just isn't possible. So let's embrace that. Let's embrace the beauty that we have owned and earned through getting ourselves to this age, that we have the knowledge and the experience of knowing what it is to be broken, and also knowing how to choose self-healing and self-care. The third area that I want to speak about, which I think right now in this world and where we are, is maybe it's where we want to go from the love of the divine and the love of self. We want to go into the love of other. And so we have to ask ourselves, what is our responsibility for love in the world? What are we really responsible for? And I think that love can be action, that taking responsibility to see our world holding the qualities of respect and honesty and compassion and empathy, and ultimately love for one another, regardless of social standing, gender, race, and that all of the qualities that make us different from one another are part of the solution, because we hold collectively in humanity, we hold all of the attributes and all of the qualities that are necessary for peace and love on this planet. That's not relegated to only certain individuals. We each have a piece of that. We are all activists. In the healing of this planet, we are all activists. That's to say that we're all active. We move, we generate, we create. That's what we do. We do that on behalf of ourselves and our families. And it's incumbent upon us to do that on behalf of this planet. At this time, it's incumbent upon us to look at love for other and for this planet as one of our primary responsibilities. If you want to be a beacon of love in this way, we have to extend beyond our comfort zone. We have to step in. Many of you are already activists in the world in really beautiful ways, and looking at social justice and looking at individual needs that are in your community and even the global needs and environmental. Many of you are already doing that very consciously. But I think we all have to step into that. What's our piece in that? Stepping beyond just taking care of ourselves and our family. What's our piece of the bigger whole? As this pandemic has brought us into a relationship, a global relationship, we're seeing so much more now of the whole of the universe and what's being called for. So on this Valentine's Day, I'd like us to take a stand and to put a stake in the ground for the love of humanity and to activate ourselves to be that love in the world so that we can generate healing amongst our friends and our family and beyond that. And I have just a short list of suggestions of ways that I think we can do that. One of them is to include prayer for all sentient beings in your daily practice, especially for those who are being persecuted at this time and who are without a voice. And those who, we need to pray for those who do have power and control, because they hold love for humanity as a thread in their actions. And we have to pray for them. Prayer is so powerful. The second is to use your time in social media to include people. Don't just look at who your friends and what they're doing, but follow some individuals whose life and whose focus is on social justice and for working into the world with the environment. There are some really, really brilliant people who are putting information online in terms of Instagram. I'm listening to some of their talks, and there are so many extraordinary young people in this world who are really walking the walk. Take your time, instead of just looking at junk. Let's look at things that are moving and that inspire us, and choose one area that you're interested in and follow up on it. Find something you'd like to contribute to, whether it's your resources or your time or your energy, whatever it is, but find something out in the world that you can offer your love and your attention to that's beyond you. It might be something domestic, it might be something international, it might be global, it might be environmental or social justice or health or basic human rights. The list is endless right now. Everything is happening online. It's so easy for us now to be a part of what's going on in terms of educating ourselves. Use your resources as your voice. Use your resources to step into the world when we can do things now online and in that way. Use your resources to be part of the love that's spread. Be a part of the solution. Make your heart heard. Be love expressed through conscious, thoughtful presence. And we can celebrate this Valentine's Day as the marker for our commitment to raise human consciousness, beginning with ourselves and our contributions into the world. Happy Valentine's Day, ladies.
Thank you, Novella. That was so inspiring. And I think the same, the youngsters out there are just incredible. Just so, they are the future and they are so conscious. It's so beautiful to observe them and to support them. So I would like to share mudra for love with you. So let me see if I can do this easily here. So I want you to have your index fingers, your pointer's fingers touch, the tip of your thumbs touch. Then you bend your middle fingers and the tip of your middle fingers touch. You do the same with your ring fingers. So they are bent and they touch. And then the tip of your pinkies touch. And when you look, and your index fingers are pointing forward, you see that you created a heart for yourself. So I say that again. So we want to touch the tip of our thumbs, the tip of our index pointer fingers. Then we bend our ring middle fingers, and the tip of my middle fingers touch. I do the same with my ring fingers. I bend them, and the tip of my ring fingers touch. And then the tip of my pinkies touch. So that's like a heart mudra. And we point the thumbs towards our heart center, please. And when you look down, you see the heart for yourself. And from here, we want to close our eyes. The fire in your thumbs is now penetrating your heart center. And aham prema means I am love. Aham prema. Aham prema. Or you can mentally recite, I am love. I am love. I am love. And just allow yourself to dive deep within yourself, to let this love penetrate each cell of your being, giving yourself the permission to be fully immersed in your self-love. We all take a deep inhalation, suspending our breath and being present to the fragrance of love in our heart. And then we exhale. Our hands are coming into prayer pose. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. May we all spread the fragrance of love to everyone we encounter today and every day. Thank you all for joining. Have a beautiful weekend. Great week ahead of you. See you next Saturday. Lots of love to all of you.